What's up, guys? I'm Ben2000YGO. I am your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero, and you're watching Structure Deck Wars. Stick around. Alright, guys. We're going to be doing the Spellcasters Command versus the Dragunity Legion structure decks. So, this is, in case you guys are new here, what this line of this series is called the Structure Deck Wars, and it is my ongoing experiment to determine what is the strongest Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure deck by itself in all of Konami's structure decks. So, we're going to see who's going to take this win. Will it be Dragon Knights or, you know, spell counters? That's a pun somewhere in there, right? Alright, guys. So, we're gonna come over to some replay footage and watch these two guys go head to head, and then at the end of the video, I will have an analysis of both decks, so you can see what is in both structure decks, and I can explain why which deck won, and why they won. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, guys, there you have it. Dragunity's Stomped, the spell counter structure deck. And by the way, guys, in case you haven't noticed or looking around, yes, we always start with the loser first, and then we go to the winner. So, for example, for the winner, we have, or excuse me, the loser, you guys knew what I meant. We have the spell counter structure deck. So why did the spell counter structure deck ultimately lose? Now the biggest thing is the spell counter structure deck is slow. That's one of the bigger problems with this structure deck. Also, it has what I call fake advantage. So usually in Yu-Gi-Oh, what you want to do is you want to have moves that give you card advantage. Well, spell counter decks don't really do that, which is why this one is rather slow and has problems. Now, it did have a ban card, which did help a little bit, but in the end, Dragunity is like equipping themselves, especially with their original strategy, like the equipping themselves to be bigger or to make the equipped monster stronger, doesn't really matter. Ultimately, what the spell counter decks, like, also its boss monsters don't really have a way to just kind of freely summon themselves, except for Endymion, but you have to have the right number of spell counters, right? Well, this deck, a deck like this, a spell counter based deck, needs to be mostly spells, and this deck, well, it frankly isn't. It's mostly monsters, and that was one of its other primary downfalls. So it doesn't really stick to strategy, and it has too many boss monsters. Like, looking at the structure deck, we got Red Dark Enchanter and Disenchanter, and neither one of these cards are particularly good to play. Requiring a tribute and Disenchanter's effect is completely useless for the structure deck. So ultimately, like, because removing spell counters doesn't do anything for you. So there you go. That was one of the bigger issues. Is it was slower. Its boss monsters weren't as impressive, and obviously these guys aren't aggressive enough or rely on spell counters too much for their effects to go off to be a threat. Now, if we come over to the Dragunity structure deck, this structure deck was very well built. Especially with the original intention for the deck, being able to just pop stuff, and also it took advantage of some really old school moves like the Armed Dragon play, like, you know what I mean? Just flying Kamakari, Mass Dragon, they die. So during the standby phase of your turn, your level 3 becomes a level 5, which, yes, that did happen in the replays, as you guys saw. Also, Armed Dragon level 5 is actually a pretty beefy boss to have, especially in the structure deck wars, as its ability to discard useless monsters to just blow up their stuff. And, you know, we have monsters in this structure deck that are just as powerful as anything that the Endymion one had. So for a deck that had no ban cards, this deck actually just had, you know, better bosses, better consistency. Also, the cards meshed well. They really were it's a very well built structure deck. Even though it's built on an older strategy of just make big monster and beat face, it does it very well. Whereas the other strategy is just, it's too convoluted. The monsters clog what its ultimate goal is. And this deck just was able to keep up. So consistency goes. So Dragunity Legion goes to the next round, guys. I'm super excited for what's going to happen next. If I'm double checking here. Ooh, we got another Spellcasters going to make another round. And we have a returning victor, Rockets. So will the Rocket structure deck be able to keep going, or will it get knocked out by Spellcasters? Make sure you come out and subscribe to this channel. Hit that bell button so you know when I upload. If you are enjoying the structure deck wars, make sure you drop me one of these. And I'm Ben 2000 Wajo, and I'll see you next time. Peace.